Do you wave your terrible towel when Renegade plays? Reach for a tasty cake when JJ shouts, "He scores!" Does the sound of an F1 engine make your heart race? Doing push-ups with a Nittany Lion after a TD? Then lend us an ear, and we will share the exhilaration of Steelers football, the excitement of Flyers hockey, the nail-biting finishes of F1, and the pride when we yell, "We are Penn State." Welcome to the SteelFlyers Show, the strangest combination of sports fandom since pineapple was put on pizza.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SteelFlyers Podcast with your host, SteelFlyers.
Thank you. That was the delightful and lovely co-host, Ronies.
Good evening.
Good evening to you, too, and thank you very much for checking us out and for being here. And we'd also like to thank you, the listener, for being here and for checking us out. Really appreciate you all tuning in. We're here to give you a bunch of great information here and at the SteelFlyers All Sports Network, so thank you very much for that. Also, a big thank you to Spreaker for all the help that they do in getting us to all of the podcasting platforms. Because of that, you get to enjoy us on any one of your favorite platforms, from Google to iHeart to Apple to Spotify. All you have to do is type in SteelFlyers. We will come up, and then you just give us a nice rating, and then we'll be able to pop up when the next show comes out. And thank you very much for all of the support. Thank you. So, what do you think, Ronice? You ready to...
Yeah, let's get started. Football or hockey?
Well, of course here, let's start off with this. Let's start off with a promising start and coming back healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Season 2, episode 29, here at the SteelFlyers. First up on the docket is going to have to be your Pittsburgh Steelers are in first place.
I still don't know how we're still in first place. Both the Browns and the...
both, but all three.
All three won.
Yeah, the Ravens won, the Cincinnati won, and the Browns won.
So how are we still in first place?
Well, because we're undefeated in the division. And so it's actually a tie now.
Okay.
Okay, so, but Cleveland beat 49ers.
Which I understand.
We lose bad to the 49ers. Beat the Cleveland Browns. Now, let's face it. The only reason why we beat the Cleveland Browns is because their star running back got hurt. He was fixing to run up and down us all day long.
Yeah, that's true.
So, we're lucky on that one. But then we came out and beat the Ravens, so all right. However, Pittsburgh Steelers coming off the bye.
Got some time to heal up.
That means Deontay Johnson has been released from IR and is expected to play in LA Sunday against the Rams.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
I mean, anything will help, right?
Another guy to throw to.
Right. Maybe he'll catch the ball.
Well, he's known for running really good routes and
I know, I'm being facetious.
Okay, all right. I mean, he's also our quote-unquote WR1.
Uh-huh.
But honestly, I think George Pickens has supplanted him as W1. But what I like about what Deontay Johnson brings to the game is his route running abilities, his skill tree. I'm not saying that George doesn't have, skill at running routes, but Deontay Johnson is more of that type of AB guy where he has just the skill set of routes that he can run.
Okay.
And he runs them really well, and he makes those tough catches. So I want to see...
More weapons is good, right?
Right. And also Pat Freiermuth coming back as well. Both of them coming back from hamstring injuries.
Yeah, let's hope they stay healthy.
So that's the thing, right? It could be potentially a nagging thing, you know what I mean? But hopefully with them taking this time off and then having the bye week has allowed them to both heal up and be able to come back 100%. Having Pat Freiermuth back on the field is going to be another huge, huge asset for Pittsburgh.
Well, tight ends have always been kind of important to Pittsburgh, haven't they?
What's that?
Tight ends have been important to Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah! Now, he's not exactly a blocking tight end. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
He's more of a, in the red zone tight end. Oh, yeah, we have to get a red zone for him to actually be used.
What's the red zone again?
That spot in between like the 20-yard line and the goal line?
Oh, yeah. I forgot what it looks like.
Yeah. I think we had 2 against the Ravens. Two red zone possessions against the Ravens. 3. Yep, you're right. 3. Sorry.
Well, we scored 3 times, so.
Well, no, but I mean, we're talking about red zone possessions.
Yeah.
Where we're inside or we're within the 20-yard line, or as 5-star likes to call it, the business zone.
Yes.
Really, that has to be a huge area of an improvement for the team. Okay. The LA Rams are coming up, and I'm a little bit anxious about this game because, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm not really excited about how the depth chart has progressed throughout this week so far.
What do you mean?
So, you mean to tell me you're not starting Broderick Jones? Why the frick not?
Did pretty good against the Ravens?
So, now I understand, and I get it, that Mike Tomlin is probably like, well, Dan Moore is gonna start because he's not gonna lose his job to injury, but, all day long, even with his eyes closed, Broderick Jones is better than Dan Moore all day long. Okay, so here's what I hope happens. I hope that he gets in there and plays a couple snaps, and then Jones gets in and plays a couple snaps, and then plays a couple more snaps, and then plays a couple more snaps, and then a little bit more snaps, and anyway. I'm not excited about that. Okay, that kind of is a head scratcher as far as I'm concerned.
Well, we know there's a lot of scratchers when it comes to this.
I'm with you. The other one that I also have a head scratcher with is why isn't Peasy Jr. starting?
Yeah, that one doesn't make sense at all because
he's one of the
cover
guys.
Sorry.
No. Say what you were going to say.
I would say I think he's made significant plays that have helped us.
Yeah. 2 interceptions, 1 in the end zone against the Ravens that prevented a touchdown. I mean, what? Can we have some more of that, please? Or are we allergic to that?
See, this is what I don't understand. There are obvious things that they should be doing that make a lot of sense that they're just not doing. And I know I'm not a coach. I didn't play football, blah, blah, blah.
Did you guys just hear that? I want you to say that again.
Blah, blah, blah?
No. The part before the part before that.
That they're making decisions that don't seem to make a lot of sense.
Look, if somebody who has not followed sport their whole life, somebody who hasn't, near the background, even that I have or anybody, associated with SteelFlyers, what I'm saying is that Bronice is so astute that she's able to see that from the Steelers. And that is what is amazing, okay? Because she is able to see that.
Well, that's just because I see the obvious.
Oh, okay, but no. See,
I mean, if I can see it,
but you have an underlying understanding. You have an underlying understanding of what's going on, right? And let's face it, you're tuned in, man.
I have an unhealthy knowledge. Is what you're telling me?
Oh no, you actually have quite the knowledge of football. I mean, your knowledge of football is, one of the reasons why you get to sit here and we get to do this show.
Okay.
Well, seriously, it is.
Okay.
I mean, it's not always just about the Steelers, but you understand that there's other teams, and you see and read and other things like that, and you keep up with things, and that's one of the things that makes this really fun and really cool to do. You know what I mean? Because you always ask me these great little questions, and you know what I mean. So.
Okay. I
mean, now, with all that being said, and I said I was a little bit nervous going into the LA game, what I'm really glad to finally here, which is something I couldn't believe that I heard at the beginning of the year. I was like, what? This guy is still on the team?
Not only is he still on the team, he's going to be in the game.
Not only is he in the games, he's going to be featured. Wait, you got George Pickens, you got 2 or 3 other guys you could feature other than Gunner? By the way, Gunner is a goner.
Yep.
So, props to the Steelers for that, for realizing that whatever, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean,
okay, I understand giving a guy a chance, and maybe he has a bad day, and, but if you're consistently costing us, like, we should have not won this game, specifically because Gunner fumbled that kickoff.
I mean, and then the whole toe tap catch and then expecting the flag. Like, okay, what planet are you on, dude? So, alright. It is as it is, was it is, and now it's gone as what it is.
I hope.
And we're thankful for the gone.
Oh,
so,
maybe they're waking up? I don't know.
Okay, so I would much rather have... Look, Calvin Austin is not a viable receiver just yet. He's good for some specific special plays that can be geared specifically for him. But I don't have a problem with him back there shagging punts or kickoffs.
All you have to do is catch the ball. Don't run. Don't try to be the big play.
No, but I mean, every time that he has touched the ball, when he's been...
Which one?
Calvin Austin.
Okay.
Right, every time he's been part of the return game, he's done really well. He's gotten us good yardage.
Okay.
He's made good decisions with the ball.
Good.
Oh, that's what we need.
We need you to hang on to the ball.
The reason why AB was back shagging punts and kickoffs. Come on. Okay? So, at least that's what I think is going to happen. Plus, the fact that you have Dante Johnson and Freiermuth both coming back. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to see how that's going to wash and how this game is going to be. I have to say this about this game. If this team starts this game off like they've started off 80% of the games they've done this year,
we're not going to win.
This is not going to be one of those games where we're going to be able to pull it out with our defense. There's some guys on this Rams team that, Cooper Kupp is going to be playing, okay? Look, I understand that Stafford is not the same quarterback that he was back in the day, but the guy took him to a Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay? So... it's going to be a tough game especially with Aaron Donald back there and the defense that they have. This is not going to be, I would love to predict a dub, but if they start off
with the same 4 plays that they play every time
and do 3 and out first 4 possessions, I guarantee you that those are going to be up 21-0, and if you go up 21-0 against the Rams, even Matt Canada admitted that his team is not built to come back from that far down. Really? Really? All right. What team is built to come back from that far down other than Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs?
What? I think I saw a quote. And I can't remember where I saw it, but Matt Canada said our players are not playing well. And I'm like, well, yeah, because you're the coach. That's your responsibility. You're supposed to make them play better. Encourage them, lead them, teach them, do something.
Wow. Came out and said that, eh?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, quite frankly, there's a lot of teams that would kill for the talent that the Steelers have on our team right now, to be honest with you. And if somebody back there knew what the frick they were doing, might be able to be winning 30 to nothing with some of these games. You know what I'm saying?
Or at least have a shot.
I mean, we know that when Kenny Pickett rolls out We know that when Kenny Pickett feels comfortable in the pocket, able to see defenses, and he's able to make the throws. But when all he can do is throw the hot reads, and all he can do is make the percentage back shoulder fade passes outside the numbers, you're never going to be successful.
Or when he starts panicking because he has protection.
And he rolls out when there's no protection, or when there, you know what I mean, when there's no need to, and then he needs to settle down because he needs to be able to feel comfortable with the offensive line. He does not feel comfortable with the offensive line to give him enough time to make the plays, to read to say, oh, this guy's not open, oh, he's not open. But hey, look at that guy way down the end of the field. He's open. No, but I mean, you get what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to predict a W, but anyway.
It's going to be touchy.
It's going to be touchy. If they start off slow and are down more and are down early, then it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly. So
they need to check their plays. Maybe have more than 4 plays. Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe do something more than, 4 and out. Or, do something more than just be in gun and run a draw play. Or be, up under center, throw a little screenplay. No. See, you got to be unpredictable. You got to take what talent you have and put them in the positions that they need to be successful. You play to the strengths of the players that are on the field.
Yeah, see, that's, I think, a good point, because I don't think Matt Canada does that. I think Canada, and this could be completely wrong, and I apologize if it is, my vision is, a amateur observationist.
Stealing money now, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt Canada has these plays in his head written down that he thinks should work. And it's like a square block into a round hole. Instead of making the hole round, he's trying to force these plays.
These square pegs.
And he doesn't understand why it's not working.
Does that sound like somebody we know that we watch on a certain prime show?
Orangutan, possibly?
No, the other one. Paisley shirt one.
Yes. Purple and blue striped shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But doesn't that remind you of his as the offensive? I mean,
I brought the best car. No, you haven't.
You didn't. Woo! Wow, we really connected that one, didn't we? That's what it is. It's insanity to think that because you think it should work, that it's going to work.
Right.
Well, that's not how things work.
You're not. To me, a good leader sees what talent or what possibilities or what the person in front of him, what they can do for you, and you build on that.
Exactly.
You don't make that person do what you think they should do.
Right.
Because that doesn't work. And it's obviously not working.
Right.
Am I just rambling now? I'm sorry.
No, I think it's beautiful. I really do. I think it's great because the fact that you're able to be that astute to be able to make those kinds of observations is quite astounding, to be honest.
And I think that's kind of why he had that look on his face
when
during
they
the
scored
game,
the touchdown.
Because it wasn't a play he called.
Right.
And he wouldn't have
jacked
called.
Off, yeah.
And he didn't want it called. You know
whatever.
what I mean?
He wanted his play called. He wanted his play to be successful.
Right.
He wanted to be the one known for, hey, that was Matt Canada play, blah, blah, blah. Because, look, it's funny because sometimes you hear the announcers and they'll be like, oh, that's a well-designed play. Like, dude, are you watching the same game that we're watching? There's nothing well-designed about that. All right. Well, let's talk about something that is well-designed.
Okay.
What do you think we do that?
Let's do that, because I'm getting frustrated with...
Well, but here's the thing, though. Steelers are in first place. They do have an opportunity here in the next couple of games. They can potentially go... If they go 2-2 in the next 4 games, right, that puts them at 5-4.
Okay.
Which is still similar to where they are, potentially, but still a winning record. And then there's a chance where they could potentially win the next 5 after that. Yeah, I'm just, hey.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a visual joke. I rolled my eyes when he said that. Sorry.
You kind of had to see that?
You had to be there.
Yeah, well, unfortunately here, you probably could have heard that eye roll anyway from, like, Jabip. Yes, so let's move on to something that is well designed. What do you think? And I think the thing that we're going to talk about here is this, and that is your Philadelphia Flyers are in first place in the Metro.
Ow. I know, that was you falling over. I get it.
Okay. Sorry. I had to pick myself back up from that.
Hey, you know what? I'll take any good news.
I think I bounced my noggin off of the table here on that. Just saying that, I think, holy smackers. Okay. Really? The Flyers are in first place after 4 games. Well, you know
what? Last night against the Edmonton Oilers,
yes,
they got a shorthanded goal. I can't remember the last time I've seen that.
No thing, right? So the game pre that, where Lance and I were talking about on the Hockey Writers Inc., where we broke down the first couple of games that the Flyers had played, and this was before the Edmonton game, right? And this was at the game, right? And played. Well, at that point, we thought that the Vancouver game was probably the best game that we have seen from the Flyers in a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, the only thing that was lacking was the power play.
Yeah, that's going to still be an issue, I think.
Yeah, because they still, even against Edmonton, where they had multiple opportunities, they still were not able to cash on the power play.
So, let me ask you a question. Why are they having such a hard time with their power play?
I have some theories.
Well, give me your top theory.
The guy that's coaching the power play has no clue what he's doing.
Well, that could be it.
When in his previous position of power play special coach, assistant, whatever, with a certain team in California, he was their power play was 14.2%.
That's not a good percent.
No, that's
out of 30.
No, that's out of like. I only graded you on the material you were awake for. Right?
Right.
Okay, so we need a new vehicle here for this power play, meaning that we need a new coach or something, because there's talent on this team, and
it shouldn't be that bad.
Exactly. There should be.
I mean, I understand if it's not the greatest. Like, I understand that, but it shouldn't be the worst in the league.
So here's the thing about the power play. Now, for one, they were constantly forcing Provorov to be on the power play, and he just wasn't that. Secondly, they had Provorov is gone now, so they at least have somebody that can quarterback the power play like York, and they potentially have some other players that could potentially do that. Like, I kind of thought Stahl was going to do that, but I guess not.
Oh, wait, before you finish.
Wait, no, I can't,
okay,
because I need to fly with this as far as the power play is concerned. The main thing is that when you have a one-man advantage, why are you giving the puck away willingly by dumping it in?
Oh, yes, we hate that.
I don't understand. Why are you constantly, willingly giving away the puck when you have possession and you have a man advantage?
No matter who's ever been coached, who's ever been playing, they've always done that. I don't understand it, and I know how much it frustrates you and irritates you. And there must be some reason they're doing it, because they all do it. Every coach we've had since I've come around in 2005 has done that. They just may not be very good at it.
Well, unfortunately, we're not getting the 5-star sirens, but we are getting the SteelFlyers sirens, apparently. So sorry about if you can hear the sirens in the background. But There's players on this team that are good shooters, and they're not the ones taking the shots in the power. There are players on this team that can carry the puck into the zone to help us to get up, but those guys are not the ones that are doing that, okay? And or there's so many reasons why this power play is not clicking, but it doesn't make any sense when you have the likes of Farabee, when you have the likes of Couturier, when you have the likes of Cam Atkinson, when you have the likes of Scott Lawton, when you have the likes of, Noah Cates, I could just rattle them off. Tyson Forster, you got a lot of talent on this team. Why can't you put it together on one line? It's set up. Every time they do get set up, there's anybody in front. They never have possession long enough of the puck to get set up to even get shots on goal. Even when they have a two-man advantage, they still have a hard time getting the puck into the zone, period.
Okay.
Something needs to change.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that they can see that.
Because you're not going to stay in first place for long, and you're not going to win many games when your power play is not going to be able to come through.
Not when you're the Flyers and the refs watch you with a microscope.
And the other team is going to have a zillion power plays on you, so you're bound to get at least one or two.
Right.
And so you need to be able to take advantage of that, and how it is in the playoffs. Because when the playoffs come, the whistles go away.
Okay.
And when there is a power play, you need to be able to take advantage of it because they're few and far between.
Right.
Right? So, hey, you got 82 games to get it right. So that when playoff time comes, hey, you've already got it in place. And anyway, I have some good things though. I've been very much happy. Even when they lose, I'm still okay with when they lose because I know they're going to lose. It's
right.
Okay.
There's 82 games. You're not going to win them all.
You're not going to win them all. And you know what? Even if they only go 500 this year,
it'd be improvement over last year.
Okay. But even if they do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
One thing I have to say is that I've been very impressed with is that Cam Atkinson is back.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, is back. A goal, couple assists, has been playing his freaking butt off.
Good.
Right? Love it. One of the things that we massively missed last year was some scoring.
Yeah.
Okay, right? Even though he might not be putting it in every time, but he's a threat.
Right.
To score. The offensive prowess. Ooh. I just said offensive and prowess when I was talking about the Philadelphia Flyers. Did you hear that?
Do you know who else I've seen this year that I think is doing much better than last year? It was Farabee. Because he had that neck surgery.
Yes.
And I think he still was not quite 100% last year.
Exactly. He had the same procedure that Jack Eichel had done, which a lot of people don't realize that. And he came back early from this surgery, and he just wasn't quite the same player. Now, towards the end of the season, you could see he was getting healthier. Do you know what I mean? But him putting on that extra weight before he had that surgery, and doing that bulk up that previous season, right, was a huge help for him, I'm sure.
Right.
Which, I'm going to say something here, folks, that I didn't think I was going to say. And I was very, very deeply against the Sanheim deal and the amount of money that he got for the amount of years that he got. Now, I'm going to say this. The fact that he stuck around Philly, the fact that when he did go home, he modeled his gym after the Philadelphia Flyers, right, was in complete constant contact with the training staff in Philadelphia and put on 15 or 20 pounds of muscle and came back ready to frickin' play. I've been impressed with how he's played this year. I've been impressed by the physicality of Sanheim. I've been impressed how he's been able to win some of those battles against the boards. And it's all because of the weight that he's done and the work that he's put in. And I'll tell you what, I've been impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
I agree.
Right? He was one of the guys that I just thought was somebody that needed to go. Right? But hey, let's hear and see how he flies.
Okay.
You know, he put on the weight, he did the work. Right? When you do the work, you get respect.
At least he's putting himself in, like he's doing, what is the words I'm looking for? He's making an effort.
Yeah, there you go.
He's showing that he wants to improve.
Exactly.
That's kind of where I'm going with
He's
that.
showing the coaching staff that he wants to be here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Now, another thing that I'm going to say that I've been really, really deeply impressed with, and that is the play of Hart. We finally are starting to see the Hart
Stop it.
that we all thought we was going to see. Because what this kid needs is communication and a team playing in front of him. Huge difference from last year. Number one, we're winning more face-offs in our zone, which means that he's not facing 40 shots a night.
That does help.
That's a huge switch. Okay? Number two, the team is better in front of him so that he actually is seeing the shots so that he's able to get square to the shooter and be in position. Okay? They're not getting the surprise point-blank shots aren't coming this year.
Well, not as much.
They're just really not from the opposition. They're just not coming from the because our defensive core has been taking care of business. Okay? Mm-hmm. And that means playing defense first. I know it's not sexy, and I know it's not what everybody wants to talk about or say, but a defenseman has to defense first.
Right. Stop trying to make the shots and do your,
Stop trying to jump up into play all the frickin' time, man. That's what the forwards are for. That's what their job is, right? Your job is to pinch and keep the puck in. Anyway, really impressed with what this team has done to this point as far as how Tortorella has gotten this team coming out of camp. This has been one of their better starts that they've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's only going to get tougher. Golden Knights are coming up. We haven't even played Boston. We haven't even played Pittsburgh. We haven't even played Tampa Bay or nothing. But we haven't played anybody yet. Carolina's coming up soon too.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah. And Vegas Golden Knights are coming up. I mean, there'll be some tests. Edmonton was a test.
And we did well.
And we did really well. We held Connor McDavid to 1 assist and Leon Draisaitl to time on the ice.
That's crazy.
That is sick.
Well, I mean, considering that they're their two best scorers, you know what I mean?
In the league.
Yeah, not in just that game. I mean, not on Oilers, but the whole league. And you're keeping them contained. Shows, like you said, they're using more defense. They're keeping them from, getting in, getting, into the position where they can do the slap shot or whatever they do. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So there you go. How about that? Man, it's like we know what we're talking about. Holy smackers. Well, I'll tell you what. Here's what we're talking about, too. Congrats to the Phantoms for starting off 1-1 on the season. I believe they're in action tonight. So we'll be able to get to have some information about that. But they started off 1-1. Their first game was a 5-2 win. Looked really good. Second game, not so much. Cal Peterson had a bad night. He let in 5 goals. Had a bad night. But we're hoping that there's a lot of talent down there in the Phantoms. We're looking to see that team do a little better than just make squeak into the playoffs like they did last year. We're looking for them to take the next step.
It'd be cool if they win the Calder Cup this year and then the Pennsylvania wins it 2 years in a row.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Right? I would take that. I'll take that all day long, right? But
by the way, the Calder Cup was at the state in the building.
Well, right. Did you see the rings?
No.
You should see the Hershey Bears rings. Right. Where I saw it, where they actually had the rings for the Hershey Bears. Some serious Blair folks, holy smackers!
No, I just thought it being... I missed it because I wasn't there that day.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that would be cool. So we're hoping for the Phantoms to do... We're looking for the Phantoms to do a lot better this year and take that next step to be more of a playoff team based off of the play.
They did better than the Flyers last year, so that's all you know.
I mean, they made the playoffs. So,
right.
All right. And so there you go. All right, here we go. Moving on, moving up, moving onward to, guess what? We are Penn State. Penn State dropped to number 7 after a shellacking. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good enough word. How about destroying? No,
I think
really,
you're good.
No, that really isn't really. Erasing. Yes, I like erasing. Erasing UMass Minutemen 63-0, and they dropped to 7.
Well, it was.
It's the UMass Minutemen. I get it.
Right. That's the difficulty of the game was not there.
All right. Okay.
However, this week.
Right. However, this week, ladies and gentlemen, it's a whole bit different ballgame. Literally different ballgame. Penn State goes marching into Ohio State, ranked number 3 in the country. And this game is at Ohio. And hostile crowd surrounded by Buckeyes.
Now, there will be some support there, but it's not going to be Happy Valley.
Crimson and silver. Oh. Not favorite colors.
But you do like chocolate Buckeyes.
Not so much.
Really?
No. In fact, anything Buckeye is really not...
Okay. Chocolate peanut butter, I thought you'd go for it.
No, I'm just not a... No, there's something different. It's not quite the same chocolate or whatever. But, let me say this. Penn State needs to come out firing on all cylinders. They cannot be lackadaisical at the start of this game. Drew Allar needs to be on point, needs to have his game going, needs to have a much better start, or else Ohio State, if you let them hang around, they're not as powerful as they have been the last 2 years. They still are ranked number 3 in the country, but I'm going to tell you something. If Nich Singleton and Kaytron Allen can have really good games, have some good ball security, be sure-footed, and take over the games like they have, then this game is going to go more towards the Lions and it's going to go to the Buckeyes.
Okay.
I just have that feeling. This is going to be the true test of this team.
Well, everybody's saying that Penn State has an easy schedule, so... I've heard that.
Ohio and Michigan State and the Big Ten on an easy schedule. I don't care what anybody says. I'm just saying. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so what? Okay, if they say that Penn State has an easy schedule, so what? It's not like other years. Other teams don't have easy schedules.
Right. Exactly.
It happens. It goes around, comes around.
You don't know that a team that was bad last year is going to be good this year, I mean, that's hard to tell sometimes.
Exactly. And who's to say who's going to be from year to year as to whether or not your schedule is weak or not.
Right.
When it comes to the playoffs, and I had this talk with 5-Star. We talked about this a little bit off the air, and I think we pretty much agreed that no matter what, he said that Penn State's not going to make the playoffs this year, and I went, no, Penn State is never going to make the playoffs because there's no way on this planet that anybody in the college football playoff system world is going to allow Penn State to be in the conversation or play in any of those games. It's just not going to happen.
Why?
I don't know. I have no idea why. How is it that a team can go completely undefeated, beat big teams, beat ranked teams, be ranked 6th or 7th in the nation, and not make the playoffs? How does that happen?
Georgia and Alabama and Texas.
And because they're Penn State.
Right.
Okay, so, what?
Well, I mean,
Alabama's not quite where it was last year.
Right.
And some of the other teams that were up there are not quite the same as they were last year. And Penn State, if they stay within the top 6 or 7, should get a shot.
Right, at least give them a shot.
I mean, come on.
Now he's all riled up. See what you did?
Yeah, I know. Gosh. Well. Sorry about that, folks. We didn't mean to get all riled up like that at any rate. Penn State has a shot at winning this game, but they need to be on point and have a good fast start and not be lackadaisical and have good game management and good clock management.
Wow, you couldn't even say it with a straight face.
Well, I tried. They have a shot, so that's kind of where we're at.
So let's talk something less intense. How about some racing?
Yeah, a little less intense. I gotta say that, of course, we all know that Verstappen crowned the Drivers' Championship at the Qatar Sprint. He only needed 3 points, and he was crowned champion. So he 3 times in a row, 3 years in a row now.
Well, isn't it kind of anticlimactic to win the championship in a sprint?
And this early?
Yeah,
it's there's still like 4.
I mean, he literally doesn't have to drive anymore.
He could just be like,
yeah, I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
I gotta head. I'm staying home.
Oh, practice? Oh, who needs practice? I'll just show up for qualifying and then the race. I mean, it's kind of funny because if Schumacher were racing now, he would be like that.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have that many races when he was racing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? So every single race, if you didn't win it,
yeah, you weren't going to win the championship.
Right. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Or if you had to finish on the podium, every race, or else you didn't have a shot.
Right.
And it helped if you won a couple.
Yeah.
Because that was 10 points.
So here's my question. Do you think FIA will look at this and say, okay, we have to make it harder to get points so we don't have a winner almost halfway, a little bit more than halfway through the season?
So here's what's kind of funny now, right? They have successfully crushed Ferrari to the point Ferrari has not had a sniff really since 2007. And that was when they started with the whole, let's make it all the same money for every team, and let's put caps on it, and blah blah blah, and blah blah blah, and the more it got like NASCAR, the more Ferrari was not able to stay as competitive as they were when they were able to just spend whatever they wanted and able to use their test track, their own wind tunnel, their own. They had a relationship with Bridgestone. They could just test whenever they wanted. You know what I mean? It's like, and all these restrictions came down and made it so that you can't.
Right.
So now teams like Mercedes and all that other stuff can win multiple champs in a row. Now you have teams like Red Bull that, they win races every year. They've put freezes on development of cars at times when one team is stronger than every other team.
Yeah, that did seem odd.
Right, so they've successfully done it. They have successfully ruled Ferrari out of any kind of contention for anything.
Can I play devil's advocate here for a second?
Yeah.
If it's the same for everyone, why can't Ferrari just improve within their... if other teams are doing well, why can't Ferrari adapt?
That's where they've proven that they cannot. That's where they've proven that when given opportunities, they still make the big mistake. They still screw up the pit stop. They still have the wrong strategy. They got the wrong guy on the wrong tires at the wrong time, at the wrong point in time in the race.
Okay.
Right? It still happens.
So what you're saying,
it's still costing the drivers, and it's still costing the team points and everything.
Okay, so wouldn't you be making personnel changes to improve those things?
You would think you would, but then
I don't know about who
that's okay, but see, that's not exactly there's not exactly a hotbed of those particular people out there. Most of those particular good people are already working for teams.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? And so
they gotta be highly skilled, and
unless you scalp from somebody, I don't think you're gonna get Helmut Marko. I just don't think you're gonna get him. You know what I'm saying, right? There's no way, But that's where you have to be. That's what you have to do as far as that's concerned. Do you know what I mean? Until Ferrari has ownership and until they have a team principal that is able, like a John Todd, that can lead the team into championships, and the fact that the team needs to be able to build the cars to be competitive. Okay. And they just haven't been able to do so.
Right.
The last 2 years, everybody thought, oh, Ferrari, and they've made some improvements.
They had a better year this year.
Yeah, they did. And it helps when you finish and cross the line.
Your car can make it the whole way.
Hey, I'm about that. Let's cross the line where everybody finishes.
So this race is where? This weekend?
So this weekend, man, this is exciting, man, because this race is in Austin, Texas. It's the United States Grand Prix at COTA, which is
Circuit of the Americas.
Circuit of the Americas in Texas. This was purpose-built track for Formula One, and man, I'll tell you what, I cannot wait to someday set foot onto this track.
That would be cool.
I want to go there. I really do. But this is a good track. It's a fast track. This might play as a Ferrari. Speaking of which, they might be able to take advantage of this because it's going to be warm in Texas, even though it is October. It's still in Texas.
I'm sure the drivers are happy that they're in October instead of like July.
June. When they originally wanted to hold the race, like, hey, June in Texas. They're like,
your tires are going to melt.
Maybe not a good idea to do a race in Texas in June. Probably not. So they moved it to during the season, and it's done really well. They only had rain one time, and that was a couple years ago. But other than that, it's been pretty much a good show and a good track. Getting close into the season, and teams are fighting for a constructor position, and we'll see what Ferrari can do. The more time they can get both drivers to cross the finish line in the points, the better it's going to be for them against McLaren and other teams, fighting for those constructor points. Because even if that Red Bull won the constructors, if you second or third,
you're still going to get more money depending on where you finish. Right?
Exactly. So the higher you finish in the constructors, the more money you get. So that's what they need to do. So this is still a fight. This is still a championship that can still produce for Ferrari if they can do well here on this track. So, but man, we got a first place in the Flyers.
Yes.
Surprisingly. We got a surprisingly first place team with the Steelers. Surprisingly. Right? We got Penn State in the top 10. Right? Ranked in the top 10. Undefeated so far, 6-0. Playing well, going up against Ohio State. Right? We got a Grand Prix in the United States. But this is a great time to be,
Well, we have a quadruple weekend. Is that correct?
We have a Flyers game. We have a race. We have a Penn State game.
Yeah.
And we also have a Steelers game.
All of which we can watch on TV.
All of which we're able to view. How about that?
That even makes it a better weekend.
Even a better week. We interrupt this life to bring you sports. And speaking of that, we would like to thank you guys for tuning in and listening to us ramble on about, some teams that we like and some stuff that we like to talk about. So thank you very much for that, man. We really appreciate that. Big thank you to Spreaker for all you're getting us to all the podcasting platforms out. So big thanks to that. And I'd like to say thank you to Ronies.
You're welcome.
And I'd just like to say thank you all for listening and for tuning in. And just remember, folks, stay safe, stay strong, and hang tough.